गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणस्पतान् शृण्वन्नोतिभिस्सीदसादनम् ॐ श्री महागणपते नमः। सरस्वत्यै नमो नित्यं भद्रकाल्यै नमो नमः। वेदान्त विद्यास्थानेभ्य एव च सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। हरि ओम। नमः श्री शंकरानंद गुरुपादाम्बुजन्मने सविलास महामोह ग्राह ग्रासैक कर्मणे। We will read from 81st page 155. Is it okay? Where is your mobile? Bring it if you need anything. 81st श्लोक, page 155. वालाग्रशतभागस्य शतधा कल्पितस्य च भागो जीवस विज्ञेयः इति चाह परा श्रुतिः। दिगंबरा मध्यमत्वम् आहुरापादमस्तकम् चैतन्यव्याप्तिसन्दृष्टेः चैतन्यव्याप्तिसन्दृष्टेः आनखाग्रश्रुतेरपि। So we were seeing, you put it on. It's on? On? Or you put it in front of you if they need anything. See, is it okay? That is okay. Just keep it with you in case they need anything. Okay? You can put it down. If any communication has to. So, we were seeing this Chitra Deep Prakaran. And the topic in the Chitra Deep Prakaran is to assert the limitless conscious nature of I and falsify the limited nature of I. When I say I am thinking or I am talking, generally we talk about the limited nature of me. And I have a firm conviction that I am in time and space, or I am acting, I am working. I am happy, I am suffering, whatever is there. But that notion that I have, it is not Shruti Sammat. Shruti Sammat means as per the Shruti, as per the Shastra, as per the Vedas. Rather, it is based on my ignorance only. Now, we have never analyzed that what is the meaning of I am happy or I am sad. I experience something and I immediately endorse that experience. There is no inquiry about that experience. There is no investigation about the nature of I. We don't think that I am many or I am one. If I am one, how can I can be of many roles? How I can have many experiences about I? How are they right? I never think that if I was from birth to death, really I have grown with the body or I have grown with the mind. But from birth to death, I was not changing. So how is it that I know all of them and still I say I am changing? I am changeless or I am changing. If I am changeless, then who has grown, who has become aged? If I am changing, then who knows this changing? So such inquiries we don't do and we have not done. Whatever the I feels that I am happy or I am unhappy, immediately I feel that this is right. What happened to her? God is not seen. Gauri. Sure. No, leave it. She had gone to Annapurna. She returned. Not returned. Sure. Why? Generally she returns before 8 o'clock. Leave it. When she hasn't come back, no? She hasn't come back. She should have come back. List of the class. Wait. Let us see. So, we are seeing we are not able to know what is the nature of I. Whatever I feel, I just think it is like that. Our feeling dictates what is true. Feeling will tell what is true and what is false. It is my notions and whims will decide what is right, what is not right. And therefore this particular chapter is going to discriminate between the two. You have been following since the beginning. Today we are on the 82nd verse. So if you remember what has been done, if you remember that first the example of the canvas was given, then the example of space was given, and in that space 4 kinds of space was there. Then the jivatva and kutastha vivek was done, if you remember. You are listening also in the hospital, no? So you are following. So there is a jiva and kutastha, that is the jalakash and ghatakash vivek was done. And it was investigated that really jiva is made out of 3 components: the kutastha or original consciousness, plus reflected consciousness, plus reflecting medium. That means the drishta and mind and the reflection of the drishta in the mind. So this was the status of the jiva that you had heard. Remember that? And then what we found? We found that the reflection is always unreal and the reflecting medium is unreal because it has been a product of Mula Vidya. From Mula Vidya came the Avriti and the Vikshep. She has manifested. We are thinking, where were you? Huh? Where? So you should have come on time now. People were worried here where you have gone. Koshke was going to search you. Then Sierra said, I will search. I said, Diwali day is there. She must be lighting lamp or doing some work. So, what happened? Huh? Arey, leave it now. So, one came, one went away. Leave it, don't take the phone call. Huh? No. As long as it is going on fine, nobody will call you. So we saw that the jiva is not a, please note, supposing somebody calls jiva is true or false, so what will be your answer? It is false from the drishti of reflected consciousness and reflected medium. And it is true from the view of point of the kutastha. Because without kutastha, jiva is not there. It is not that this is Paramatma, this is jiva. In jiva only there is a non-changing aspect and there is a changing aspect. I am falsifying the changing aspect and I am asserting the non-changing aspect. This we were seeing. So shift your attention from the changing. There is nothing to be done. You don't have to go somewhere. And therefore I always say the journey in the Vedanta is not a journey in space or journey in time. It's the journey in attention. You have to shift the attention from the changing to unchanging, from the many to one, from the mixture to unmixed, from the shape to shapeless, from the dependent to independent I. It is a shifting of your attention. It is a traveling in attention. And that makes it easy. If you can change the attention, that will make it very easy. This we saw. And if you think and if you investigate, that unchanging is always there. Don't do anything. Don't do. The birth and death are not two. Life is not which has birth and death as a starting and end point. This is false. It's not like that. Birth and death are two imaginary points on me. Birth and death are two imaginary points in me. This unchanging I was there, will be there, and is there. Before birth also it was there. Now it is there. Later on also it will be there. Natve vaham jatu nasam natvam neme janadipa na chaiva na bhavishyamah sarve vayamatah param. Arjun, there was not a time when these kings were not there. I was not there. Or there will never be time they will not be there. Or I won't be there. It is a shifting in our cognition. It is not doing something externally. You have not gone anywhere physically. You have not created a thought. And this was Vidyaranya Swami's attempt actually and all through Kutastji Vivek, which you have been seeing. After that, so please seek the solution from the knowledge. And solution is cognitive change. Solution is the ability to realize the falseness of the waker or falseness of the jiva. Falseness of varying I. You have heard so much, therefore I can easily use these words so that it will be easy for you to understand that. Solution is the distancing from the false. Like you have distance from that person. Means what? I don't believe in whatever he says, or I am not very happy or sad with. This is called distancing. So I have distanced myself from this wrong I. This is called neighborization. I have neighborized my ahankar. As if when you distance, what you say, I have nothing to do with him, let him do whatever he wants, I have no problem. I'm not concerned about what he does or what he says. So what this I says or do, I don't agree with it and I don't disagree. I just say it has nothing to do with me. This discovery of relationlessness with the ahankar is called your meditation or is called your sadhana in Vedanta. Whether it is the body, whether it is the jiva, whether it is the mind, whether it is the samskar, I have discovered my relationlessness. Like the seer cannot be related to the seen. The dreamer cannot be related to the waker. Desert cannot be related to the mirage waters. Screen cannot be related to the film. Space cannot be related to the sky. There is no relation possible. And there you stay. You stay in this relationlessness, consciously, deliberately, till it becomes unconsciously and non-deliberately. When something has not become firm, we have to be deliberate, we have to force, we have to persuade, we have to again and again remind. But something has become nature, then it is effortless and non-deliberate. In the dream also somebody says 2 plus 2, you will say it's 4 only. You will not say 2 plus 2 is 9 in the dream because I was dreaming. If you see a tree, you will never say it's a mountain because I can see clearly it's a tree. This is called tree. It's not a mountain. So practice this knowledge, liberalize the I, false I, to that an extent that it becomes very unconscious. This is called your sadhana. You know, when you must have learned car. So when you are driving first time, you are very deliberately, this is the brake, you have to press here, you have to turn here, you have to take a U-turn, do more. Initially. And you wonder how people are driving so effortlessly. You see everybody in the road is Siddh. They are all great people because they are driving so fast, so wonderfully. And you are afraid, you are putting the brake and accelerator. See, I have never driven, just I am guessing it must be like that. One day when you become master in few weeks, then you also, you are listening and same thing, it has become non-deliberate and effortless. So this is the Vedantic sadhana, is this only work, people, relation, success, failure, achievement, laurels, my body, relations of this body, they are all nothing to do with this unchanging, conscious, detached, limitless I. And I am there. In this consciousness, I see this present body like this many bodies has come in me and gone in me. Like many dream bodies have come in me and gone in me. This is one of that bodies. This will also go in some years. But I am not going and I am not coming with this body. I never came in this world, neither I will go from the world. World came in me and it goes in me. World is in me. You are reiterating. I'm emphasizing this point. Vedanta is merely reiterating. If you are not able to reiterate, it won't take away the sorrows. My reaction time, I'm not saying it should become 0. I'm only saying it should become listen. My recovery time should be faster. I was taking 1 hour to recover, now I recover in half an hour. My recovery time, frequency, intensity and recovery time should be lesser. Earlier I was frequently disturbed, now I am less frequently. 10 times in a day, now I'm disturbed only is 5 times in a day. I was very intense, I was very hard, now I'm not that intense. I can see the emotions and I can get out of it. It takes lesser time. This is what Vidyananda Swami wants. You have to prostrate these great saints who left a legacy and so much of matter for us to settle ourselves so that we are clear. Allow yourself to change. Changing in Vedanta is the ability to create a distance between the false and the right eye. Today it has mixed up. I don't see the false and the right. I see the false as right. It is so mixed up I can't see. I don't see there is any difference also. Like a child doesn't see difference between blueness and the space. He say on the top will be blue only. He will see there is blue sky. Maybe something is blue on the top. Later on you realize that there is nothing called blue. It's an optical illusion. There is nothing called blue. After you have come to this stage, then Vidyananda Swamiji is taking some aside topics like what will be the nature, lakshana of Atma, why Dehatmavadi, Indriyatmavadi, etc. will be false. We saw that. Then yesterday he also took what is the magnitude of Atma. It is subtle or it is middle or it is all pervading. And one point we saw that it cannot be atomic Atma. If you remember that, it won't be. Then he said on the hairs, 10,000 part of the hair, it is so subtle because Atma cannot be subtle. It's a subtle world because moment it will become subtle, it will become an object. It will become an object. If it is an object, who is seeing the object? Simple thing is there. You need not be very intelligent to know it. Let me tell you, Vedanta does not need lot of intelligence. Average intelligence if you have, you can always understand Vedanta. What is the difficulty in Vedanta is to abide in what we have understood. There is where 99.9 people fail. Because of my rag, dvesh, karm, bhog, that knowledge is sabotaged. It is kidnapped. And I am the same old fellow which I was before listening to Vedanta. Because I am not allowing it. Like the curd is made after you put some small 1 spoon of curd in the milk, in the lukewarm milk, and you keep it somewhere quietly. Don't disturb it again. That portion we don't allow. So Madhyam, if you heard, somebody said by Atma is not Anu, Atma is Madhyam Parimana. Earlier, Lakshan, how many Lakshan was there? Now Pariman. Pariman means magnitude. So that was refuted, it is atomic Atma. Now let us see, somebody said, it is Madhyam Parimana. Madhyam means it is a middle, not very big, not small. Let us see how big is it, 82nd to 80. This is called Madhyam Parimanavadi. 82nd to 84th. And they are mainly Digambar Jain. Jain Darshan is there, not Jain Dharm, Jain Darshan. Let's see now, 82nd verse, already I have chanted it. 82nd I have chanted. So they say, Digambar Madhyatvam Ahuhu. That Digambar Jain, they say, they are called Madhyam Para. Ahu Apada Mastakam. Atma is from top to toe. Atma is from top to toe, from the head to the toe, Atma is there. Acha? So, how do you say like that? Chaitanya Vyapti Sandrishtehe. Only because here only you see consciousness. And bole, how do you know? There is one Shruti from Radharanya, Anakhagra Shrutehe. This is called Anakhagra. Anakhagra means up to the nail, up to the tip of the nail. In Sanskrit language, there is something called up to, and there is also excluding that. So here it will be excluding the nail. Why? Because if Atma is the nail, you cannot clip it. So you'll get hurt. Bhagwan is so interesting. He has made hairs and nails inert. Supposing it was not inert, all nails will be there all around. Like this, it will coil up. It looks so ugly and horrible and difficult to do all the work also. How will you write? How will you eat? With the hand. How will you supposing you take child in your lap? Everywhere a person will be very, So Bhagwan had made it inert. But what is the purpose of nail? I think scratching is the only. I think to make this portion firm so that you can hold something, because this makes it harder. Tip of the finger is harder. If it was not harder, it may become soft. That is the only purpose, I think. Two purposes only I see. But you can clip. You have to clip the nail clippers you have. I'll check all the nails one day. Clipped. Please keep the nails clipped. And hair is understood. Hair's purpose is to protect the skull, and for the ladies it is for their own beauty and all. I can understand that. But nail is also like that. But scratching is a very big purpose, I think. Somebody scratch others also. These animals, especially the cat. Cat has the paws is there. It can really scratch. They say it needs comes out. It is automatic, it protrudes out. Acha? Hare Bapre. Automatically it comes out when it is angry or something. So it can scratch like that. Now here a word is used for maryada. Maryada means excluding the nail. So consciousness is not in the nail. Excluding from the top till the point where nail is not there. I hope you are understanding. Chaitanya vyapti sandrishte anakhagra shruterapi. This comes in Brihadaranya Shruti. This is written in 1.4.7 if you see in the footnote. And Kaushiti ki, not Kaushki, Kaushiti ki Upanishad also it is there. The words are Sa Esha Iha Pravishta Anakhagrebhya. That is called Anakhagra Shruti. Now what is the problem here? So Chaitanya pervades the body. So let us see now what they say. 83rd verse. Please repeat. Sukshmanadi pracharastu Sukshmairavyayir Asukshmairavyayir bhave Sukshmairavyayir bhave. This is Sukshmaihi Avayavaihi. So I'll break it down. Sukshmaihi Avayavaihi bhavet Sthula dehasya hastabhyam Kanchuka pratimokavata. So they asked, okay, Madhyam Parimanavadi, you please tell me how the inside the consciousness is felt. If it is of the nature, then Sukshma Nadi, movement through the Nadi, how it happens. So they say Atma is in the Nadi also. Because if it is only in the body, how? If Atma is so big, how can it go inside the Nadi and nerves? then sentiency in the nadi is there. So they said very funny things. They said, as you put your hand in the shirt, I'm not saying, as you put your hand, although you don't put your whole body in the shirt, but a part of your body you put in the sleeves. Similarly, what similarly? The part of that Atma goes in the nadi. So Atma is like the hand, body's one part goes in the shirt. Similarly, the nadis are like the shirt, and Atma's one part goes in the nadi. Just listen all these things, what they say. Sthula dehasya. Well, is it not funny? Listen, don't worry. Sthula dehasya hastabhyam kanchuk pratimokavat. Let me complete this, then I'll come back to where is the flaw here. Let us see now. Next. So this is fine. 84th verse. Nyunadhika sharireshu praveshopi gamagamai atmam shanam bhavetena madhyamatvam vinishchitam. So, now the question is asked, supposing that Atma dies, that person dies, then what happened to Atma? Because Atma is this shape only. And supposing human being takes the shape, he becomes ant, and now Atma was already 6 feet. So how he will fit in the ant? He said, don't you know that Atma contracts, Atma becomes smaller there. So nyuna adik sharireshu praveshu pigama gamaihi. So Atma amshanam bhavet. So some portion of the Atma goes like that. This is what madhyam. This is called madhyam. Well, supposing the ant now becomes the elephant. Supposing ant has gone in the trunk of elephant and is thinking of the elephant, the ant becomes elephant. Then what happens to the Atma? He said, I told you, Atma is flexible. So Atma will become of the size of the elephant. So this is what I am saying. So Atma will, it depends what Atma will take. Depends on the body. Atma is stretchable Atma. So there is no problem at all. So this is how as the physical body expands and contracts, Atma is also expanding and contracting. Now, this portion was said. So, remember 3 were there. Anu, Madhyam and Vibhu. There were 3. Now the third one said, you are not right. Why you are not right? I'll tell you why I have not. 85 verse, please see. Samshasya ghatavannasha bhavatyeva tatha sati kritnasha kritabhyagam kritnasha kritabhyagam yoho ko varako bhaved. Well, tell me one thing. Now answer is asked to the Madhyam Parinamvadi. That means your Atma is with part. Well, yes, Atma is with part. I am agreeing Atma is part. Well, don't you feel that Atma with part will be finite? Because it is limited. Well, yes, let it be limited. Only, but if something is with part, then it will be with in time, because it is in space. Well, yes, it is in space. So it will die away. Anything in space will always be in time. It will be in the periphery of time. That means it will have, the Atma will be lost. Well, let it be lost. Atma dies away. Well, lo, if Atma dies away forever, what will happen to the fruits of action of that Jeev? Only a fresh Jeev will come. If that Atma dies away because it is limited, a fresh Jeev will come. Only this is silly. Why? Because fresh Jeev is getting the fruit of action which it has not done. ये अजीब सी बात हो जाएगी. कृत नाश and akrityagam, akrit abhyagam. Because a fresh Jeev is coming, that Jeev already died away because it had a shape. And now that fresh Jeev is experiencing the fruit of action done by somebody else. And now that Jeev, fresh Jeev is facing a situation for which it has not done anything. So don't you think this will be ridiculous? I hope you are finding the examples clarified. First thing, if Atma will be finite of the shape of body, then you cannot have experience of the Atma in the deep sleep. In the deep sleep, the Atma experience is there. That means without the space only, also you have experience of Atma. The experience of the Atma in the Samadhi and deep sleep is telling that Atma is not in space. That means it doesn't have a shape. Number 1 point. Number 2 point, because if you say that Atma has a shape, you mean to see there should be another seer to see that Atma. Because anything has a shape, there should be something to illuminate that shape, then only you can say this is a shape. Supposing I say this paperweight has a shape, so that means there is a light falling which is more than the periphery of the paperweight, then only you can say it has a shape. And if you know that Atma has a shape, then problem will be there should be another consciousness to illuminate that, to say that Atma has a shape. I hope you are catching my point. And therefore you cannot say that Atma has a shape. So first thing, experience of the Atma in the deep sleep. And second is, if it has a shape, then it cannot be illumined by something else. If it has a shape, and you know that it is shape, there is some light which is falling on this Atma, which is other than that Atma. Therefore there is something else. This is drishta of that shape. No shape can be experienced unless there is some seer other than that shape. And if Atma has a shape, there should be some other Atma who is illuminating that. And that other Atma will be more pervasive than this. Therefore Atma cannot have a shape. Atma will have to have all pervasiveness. I hope you have understood this point. You cannot say from the deep sleep and samadhi experience and from the experience of the shape also. And of course from the scriptural angle, scripture says Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Everywhere Divyoyam Amurta Purusha Sabhayabhyantaro Yaja Apranoya Manashubra Yes Asmat Paratah Param Mundak. So Atma is shapeless. Atma is shapeless. Avinashi tu tad vidhiyen sarvam idam tatam. Which is all pervasive. How can you say it has a shape? So logically and scripturally, both your argument is falling down. Therefore, atomic Atma and Atma with the shape, both have collapsed. And therefore now Vibhu Atma portion has come. Vibhu means all pervasive. What they say, let us now see in 86 words. So if anybody talks like that, immediately your mind should be alert to understand where is the flaw. If anybody talks such things, let me tell you, no religion has the guts to openly discuss these things. We are not shy of discussing anything. Rather, we invite anything because we love knowledge. We love to say what is the reality. I want to talk about it in open. I invite you, what is the problem? You can tell me, and if I am wrong, I will give up, and if you are wrong, you give up. We are knowing the truth. We are not dogmatic. We may have dog, but we are not dogmatic. Let us now see 86 verse. Tasmadatma mahaneva नैवाणुर्नापि मध्यमः आकाशवत् सर्वगतः निरंश श्रुति सम्मतः. 86 verse C. Tasmad. Therefore, the fault of Krit Nash and Akrit Abhyagam, we say therefore, and the argument which just now I gave of the deep sleep also, and of the Shruti also, and of the seer seen relation also. Three the argument we saw. Therefore, Atma should be all pervasive. And this is mentioned as Tasmad Atma Mahan. Here Mahan doesn't mean great. It means all pervasive. Naiv Anuhu Napi Madhyama. Neither it is atomic, neither it is medium shaped. Then what is it? Akashvat Sarvagata. It is like the space everywhere. Niransha Shruti Sammata. It doesn't have parts, as the Mundak will say, Yattad Adrekshyam, Agrahyam, Agotram, Achakshu Shrotram, Nityam, Vibhum, Sarvagatam, Susukshmam, Yadbhuta Yonim, Paripashyanti Dhiraha. This is a very popular mantra of Mundak. You all have known that and heard many times. So, Yadbhut Yonim Paripashyanti Dhiraha. So this is therefore it is said here. See the Mundak Upanishad 3. This is written 3.1.7. See in the footnote. But it is also 1.1.6. So both, what I quoted was 1.1.6. So Atma cannot be having a part. So Atma is not sa avayava. It is nir avayava. It is nitya. It is nir avayava. And therefore, what is our conclusion? Atma should be vibhu. Vibhu means all pervasive. It should not be anything with a part. And that sleeve example, etc. are not good. So tasmad atma mahaneva naihi na eva anuhu napi madhyama akashavat sarvagataha. I hope this point is very clear to us, that any drishta, because you are talking about drishta and drishya sambandh. If you have heard the Drishyavek, so number one principle is drishta and drishya are different. Number two principle is drishya cannot be drishta of the drishta. Number three principle is that drishta will always be more pervasive than the drishya. Therefore, the drishta cannot have a shape, because if drishta has a shape, you need another drishta of that drishta which is to illuminate that. So ultimately the one drishta should be there which is all pervasive. If drishta is not having a shape, therefore drishta has to be all pervasive. This is a simple 4 steps which you never forget. This, I like this way of approach of thinking. Whether you like, I don't know, but this really has touched my heart and my whole meditation, that drishta cannot have a shape. Because if drishta will have a shape, then the problems will be many. Drishta will be many then. If drishta is many, your drishta and my drishta is different. Your Atma and my Atma is different. So your Atma and my Atma are different. Then your Atma is drishya and my Atma is drishya for you. Yad drishyam tad jadam, that means it is inert. Anything in space, always remember, it will be either of the 4 elements only. I cannot understand something is in space and it is not either air, or it is fire, or it is water, or it is earth. Imagine that. If it was either of the four elements because it is in space, then it should be obtained by operation. Then you can locate it somewhere. It is locative Atma. Then Atma is somewhere in heart or in your head because it was in space. But Atma, if it was in space, it could have been located. It is not locative Atma. Okay. So problem will be if there are two Atmas or many Atma, all will become inert. When I say Atma is becoming inert, that means you will say, I don't know myself. To say that you don't know myself, you should know yourself. So you cannot say that I don't know myself. And therefore, everywhere Atma is mentioned to be all pervasive. Everywhere it is mentioned to be Vibhu. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavyakta murtina. And just now I quoted Mundaka Upanishad, Divyo yamurta purusha sabhaya bhyantaro yajaha aprano yamana shubраha yaksharat paratah parah. Just now I had talked about that. If you remember, that point, don't forget, please. So this is there. Tasmad Atma Mahaneva. Mahan means all pervasive here. Naihi. So don't, but I don't experience. You don't worry about experience. Your experience can be anything. Will I experience I'm in the body? You experience in the body in the dream also. How can you say I'm experiencing? I don't experience the Atma. How can you say like that? When I say this is, supposing I say sun. So sun, if you say, sun has existence. And you use the isness in the sun and amness in you. How can these be two things? The light in me has gone through the sun. Therefore you are perceiving the sun. Therefore you have to be all pervasive. Because anything to pervasive, your light of Atma should have gone there. Light of the self should have gone through any object all over the space to perceive there. And therefore you have to be everything to perceive the Atma. Okay. If you are in space, how will you experience the self in the dream, in the deep sleep? Because in the deep sleep there is no space. And still you are there, therefore you say that I don't know anything. How can you say in the deep sleep that I am not knowing anything? I am not knowing anything, you are there in the deep sleep. That means you should not be a part of the space. Anything of the part of time and space is not experienced in the deep sleep. And therefore you are of the nature of joy or bliss. Why? Because there is no limitation in the deep sleep. And therefore everybody's deep sleep is same. You cannot say that this is a deluxe rich person deep sleep is there. Premium class deep sleep is there. Yours is middle class. I am poor, I have a lower class, deep sleep is there. I think the animals also the deep sleep is there. Animals also sleep. They also have the same experience in deep sleep. Gajab. And therefore it is said here, Akash vat sarvagataha nir-anshah shruti sammata. I hope this point of Vibhu is over. So earlier the Lakshana was seen that it is beyond Anandamaya Kosh, and now magnitude is seen, it is Vibhu. See, his style is to bring out various thoughts and shake it so that we can be firm in what is right. Otherwise, anywhere you will listen this and you will be shaken up, because I do not heard that. Now let us see. So, Lakshan Vipratipatti, Praman Vipratipatti has been taken care of. Now Sankhya Vipratipatti is there. Some say Atma is one, some say many. Let's now see what happens to them. So it's not boring, I hope so. It's quite interesting. So you have to revise in your room and try to make it your own. Make it your own. Let us now see 87th verse. Ityuktva tadvisheshuyetu बहुधा कलहम ययुः अचिद्रूपोऽथ चिद्रूपः चिदचिद्रूप इत्यपि. So, with respect to all pervasive Atma, Bahudha Kalaham Yayu, lot of different opinions are there and they have little infighting. What is there? There are three people are there. Achidrupaha, some say like Nyaya, Vaisheshik, that Atma is inert by nature. Lo, nahi baat aa gayi. Then some say Achid Rupa, it is consciousness inert mixed. Some say mixed. Some say no, it is of the nature of consciousness. So three opinions are there. One is inertness, Achidrupa. Second is Chidrupa, consciousness. And third is Chidachidrupa, Yayuhu. Yayuhu is Ya dhatu is there, Yayau, Yayatuhu, Yayuhu. Parasmapadi lit. So this is there. I hope you are understanding. So earlier was the characteristic, the opinion, then became the Pariman or magnitude opinion. Now opinion is about the Sankhya and nature. Is it consciousness? Is it not consciousness? So now that is said here. So ityuktva tad visheshetu bahudha kalaham yayuhu. Very good. I hope this is clear. Now, who are the one who talk about that Atma is inert? And how can you talk that Atma is inert? I'll tell you. This is 88th verse. Prabhakarastarkikascha Prahurasyachidatmatam Akashavadravyamaatma Shabdavat gunaschitihi. Now there is something called Prabhakara. So if you heard, Mandan Mishra was there. Mandan Mishra was from Purmimansa and his disciple was Prabhakar. So the what philosophy Prabhakar propounded was known as Prabhakar. And what philosophy Mandan Mishra propounded. It is similar, only little difference is there. I think Mandan Mishra, Prabhakar. So Prabhakar. So this is called Prabhakar. One is called Bhatt, other is called Prabhakar. Prabhakar, and one is called Bhatt. Both have written commentary on Jaimini Sutra. So what is there now? So they are called Jad Atmavadi. So Nayayik and Vaisheshik and Purmimansa, they say that Atma is of the nature of inertness. Inertness. So what is there? What is there? Although they say that Atma is all pervading, please be clear. Prabhakar tarkikaha prahuhu asya asmis atmanah. Atmanah achidatmatam. Inert nature of the Atma, they say. Akashvat dravyatma, and Atma is like space. And although, then what is the difference between Atma and space when both are inert? Well, wait, listen what I'm saying. This space has a property called sound, and Atma has a property called consciousness. How they say, we'll talk about it. The difference is there. How is it there? We will talk about it. But why are saying like that? That also we'll talk about it. They say, please be careful. What is their logic of this Nyaya? They say Atma is inert. Why? They say when in the deep sleep mind is not there, we don't experience Atma. This is their logic. It is the mixing of the mind with the Atma that consciousness property is born. Low. Low, bhaiya. Like the bulb is there, electricity is there. So bulb is inert. But when the electricity is mixing with the bulb, then only something light, bulb's property called light comes out. Similarly, all pervasive Atma is everywhere. But when mind mixes with the Atma, then only the consciousness will come out. They say here also Atma is there, and here also Atma is there. But because there is no mind here, therefore the property called consciousness is not seen here, but Atma is here. I don't know you got them. So much, you have to congratulate them, so much they thought, and they had the freedom to think also. If freedom is not there, it will become a very fighting place. Therefore, Hindu Dharma never produced terrorists. And imagine how much they had the luxury of time to go and delve. And you will be surprised to know that hundreds of books are on this topic. Not 1-2 pages. What is in one verse? Hundreds of books are there in various authors who have given their life to think over it. Imagine. And how are they right and how are they wrong? Where they had mistaken this point, that we will see tomorrow. You should celebrate Deepavali by lighting the lamp of knowledge in your heart. So we are having Deepavali every day. Why to celebrate? Every day we celebrate. So many lamps we lit. Although it extinguishes with the wind of our vasanas, but again we light. And again we see. You revel in the ever enlightened self. Hari Om. Om. Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.